Hi YouTube, this is Felicia with Bible Scraps, and happy Memorial's Day to all the family who have loved ones who have died the ultimate death. And that is the death for our protection, for our freedom, for our security. Thank all of you. I stand with you today as my father died a service-connected death several decades ago. Can't believe it's been that long. Well, happy Memorial's Day to all of you. And this video is super fun. I used something I had in my stash for at least a decade. These are real laminate sample tiles that customers use when they're picking out floors. Yeah, I picked up these from a thrift store a long time ago, and I'm finally using them to create embellishments. So take a look at an assortment that I have done already. We will do several of these in the video, but they are super fun. You could use different attachments, different embellishments. For all of mine, I used paper napkins. To hold this one, I have one of these clips. I'm not sure what they're called. I have some trim. This one, I just added trim and this cross here. You guys know I love the cross, so I have that one attached with the cross. One of my fave right here, this African woman with a basket on her head. I used a bell on the top, more trim here, and the playing card. And I added a stamp that says pray with a cup of tea. I love this hot air balloon, this cactus, and this one of the bird. You can do a whole lot with these tiles, and I will have embellishment kits that includes the tiles in my Etsy shop. I will debut really soon. Okay, so you might be wondering how you can incorporate these in your crafts. Well, number one, let me say I love the weight of these. I love the size of these. I love that it's not so bulky, but yet it provides dimension. It's much sturdier than paper and fabric, and it takes different paints very well. I will use mine in part as book charms, as book dangles. You can make pockets with these. You can create little masterpieces and swap them out with your crafty friends. Really, the sky is the limit. And once again, I will have embellishment kits, including these tiles and napkins, in my Etsy shop. So I'm using these mini sample tiles. I picked up a binder of these at least 10 years ago from a thrift store. Last year I threw away the binder. Of course, now I wish I kept the binder. But these are sample tiles that you can probably pick up for free at your local home store. But they come in different colors, different finishes, different grains. Well, I've randomly taken out several. Okay, so there's a number of things you can do to treat your tiles. Number one, if you like the color of the tile, then leave it. Or what you can do is add paint. You can't tell on this tile. I think it was a light blue, but I added white acrylic paint to the tile. And then I added, what did I add? Oh my goodness. Okay, I'll figure out what I added in a second. I don't remember. But let's go ahead. Let's add acrylic paint to this tile. And the only thing you need is a little sponge. So if you want, you can add a little bit of texture, add little swirls. You're going to cover most of it up. And let's go ahead and also add paint to this one. You could add additional coats, but I tend to like the colors of the tiles. So I don't want to add too much to cover up the color. I like the layered look. I think it's for stenciling. I picked this up at Tuesday morning, and it actually dries really quick, and it went on easy. So I'll use my finger and add a little bit. I didn't need to add as much as I did here. And it's providing full coverage. So this one might take a minute or two to dry because I added so much. You don't need that much. And dab some off as well. But in doing that, there's texture, right? The napkin is giving this a little bit of texture. You really can't see that blue beneath that red. And then, now I haven't tried this one yet, but this is Glossy Dimension. I think, well, it's modeling paste. I picked this up from Hobby Lobby on clearance. Oh, this might not work. This seems really liquidy. Not liquidy, but it's not as hard as the one I just used. Okay, so I'll apply it and see how well it dries. You know, these tiles are different. They have different textures and different finishes. So what works on one tile may not work on the other. I want to do another gold one because I want to show you just how fast this dries when you use the gold. The acrylic paint is still drying, but just apply a little bit down and your hands, your fingers will get messy. We're making art, you guys. And you don't have to cover up the entire tile, but that's dry. I can go ahead with the next step, and let's do that using paper napkins that I will have in my shop. I absolutely love paper napkins and love this image. Well, to remove your plies, use washi tape. And you simply, I've removed the plies from this napkin, but you apply your washi tape and lift up that ply. If you have more than 2 plies, do it again until all of your plies have been removed. Now my image is larger than my tile. I'm going to use scissors to cut it. And I'm using this glue stick. I love this glue stick. Yes, the napkin or the glue will adhere the napkin to the tile. Absolutely love it. I use that glue stick to apply my fabric to paper. It's just a really good all-purpose glue stick, and it works excellent with this project. Now, when you apply your glue, be careful because you can rip your napkin. Napkins are delicate, but you could also apply or make texture when you put your glue down, and if you manipulate your napkin, you'll get texture. Okay, so I'll go ahead and tear this off. Well, I got part of the vase. I'll tear this off. If you want, you can apply glue to your edges to lay down or fold the napkin over. You can definitely do that. This one is now dry, and I'm going to use an image of a teacup. Going to apply a little bit of glue. Apply my napkin down, gently press it. Now, you want to be careful because if you want to use the hole in the tile, be careful where you place your image. If I use the hole, I'll put a hole in her head, and I don't want to do that. So I'm not going to use the hole for that one. Okay. Apply as much glue you need. Now, I don't think you'll be able to see the teacup. Oh, you can, I guess, a little bit. You can. Okay, let's use a balloon. And I'll just fussy tear this one. I'm not really putting a lot of thought into trying to match colors. I have a motto for myself: don't think, create. So that's what I'm doing, but I do want to be careful about my placement. Like so. And I'll tear off. You do want to let it dry just for maybe 10 seconds. And I'll fussy tear this. I'm liking how this looks. I'll apply more glue and leave that as is. I will make a hole in this. Okay, word of caution. When you use your paper napkins, you want to make sure you only use the top ply. I didn't remove one of the plies from this one, and the top ply did not stick. I was able to remove the top ply and then take off the bottom ply and then reapply the top ply. So I have a good bind now, but just keep that in mind. And you can layer your napkins. I want to incorporate part of this tree here. So I've added that like that, and I'll just tear off the excess like that. And for this one, you don't have to use paper napkins, right? Let's see if this works. I'm applying the glue to the back of my tile. And then this is a piece of deconstructed clothing. I shared a video deconstructing some beautiful Indian attire I found from a local thrift store. This is part of that trim. Not too sure what else I'll add to this one, but I'll figure something out. Okay, and then the last thing I want to try is alcohol inks on the tile. Oh, it will work too, you guys. You can mix different colors. I'm just at random adding different colors. Let that evaporate and dry. And by the way, I'm working on vintage tissue from Sewing Patterns. I'll be using a lot of that because it's easy cleanup. When I'm done, I can just pick up the whole pattern and throw the whole thing out. Some final touches. I'm going to use Fun Stamper's Journey Dark Roast Silk. I'm a coach if you're interested in making a purchase. And I just want to outline the edges. Not being too careful. It dries fairly fast. I used a different color silk on this one. You know, and you can further embellish. You can embellish to your heart's content. If you want to use the whole, take your scissors. Well, I'll do this one. Take your scissors and just puncture through the napkin. You could also decorate the back. You can add fabric. Just trace out the design on fabric and cut it out. You could do a whole lot with these, including adding rubber stamping, using your stencils. These are little works of art. So I will finish embellishing mine and you will see my completed works of art at the beginning of this video. Now, if you have been inspired to create, why not like this video? Give me a thumbs up. Also subscribe if you're interested in more tutorials. Be on the lookout because once again, I will open up my Etsy shop and I will have embellishment kits to purchase. Feel free to share this video. Feel free to adopt any of my ideas. I only ask for proper credit. Do give shout outs and do link back to this video. Well, I want to thank you all for watching. As always, blessings.